Good morning from Madagascar. My name is Lyra and I'm a ringtail lemur, Lemur cata. I lead a group of lemurs through the forests and scrublands of southern Madagascar. We're social animals and live in groups with a female like me in charge. You might recognize us by our long striped tails, but what you might not know is that our species is in danger. We're officially classified as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN Red List. That means our population is decreasing, and unless things change, we could face extinction.
Let's take a closer look at who ringtail lemurs are related to. They belong to the Lemuride family, which includes several similar species that all live in Madagascar. One of their closest relatives is the black lemur, which belongs to the same genus. They have similar genetics and social behaviors even though their fur is much darker. Another relative is the red-bellied lemur. It's part of a different genus but the same family. They're quieter and live in smaller groups, but they share features like opposable thumbs and a plant-based diet. There are also the sifkas, which are large tree-leaping lemurs known for their powerful back legs. Even though they're in a different genus, they're part of the same lemur family and evolved from shared ancestors. These relationships show that while lemurs are a diverse group, they're also closely connected, and every species plays a role in Madagascar's ecosystem.
Ringtail lemurs live only in the southern and southwestern parts of Madagascar, from Forest Dauphin in the east to Marandava on the west. These areas are mostly tropical grasslands, dry deciduous forests, and spiny scrublands. The climate here is tough. It's hot and dry most of the year, with a short rainy season from November to March. Temperatures often reach 22 to 30 degrees Celsius during the day and drop at night. The land is rocky and drains quickly, so water is limited. They rely on both biotic factors like the plants they eat and predators like the fossa, and abiotic factors, including sunlight for warmth, soil quality, and seasonal rainfall. Lemurs compete with each other and with other species for fruits, leaves, and flowers. Despite such challenges, ringtail lemurs have adapted well to these conditions.
One way we survive the heat and the cold is by controlling your body temperature. Like other mammals, we're endothermic and homeothermic. That means we keep our body temperature stable no matter what the weather's like. When it's chilly, we sit facing the sun to warm up. That is called sunning. And at night, we huddle together in tight groups to conserve heat. These behaviors are important because temperature here can change a lot, even in one day.
When it comes to their place in the food web, ring-tailed lemurs are omnivores. That means that they eat a variety of things. Most of their diet is plant-based, fruits, flowers, and leaves, which makes them primary consumers. But they also eat insects and small animals like birds or reptiles, so they're sometimes secondary consumers too. They're skilled climbers using their strong hands and long tails to move through the trees and reach high branches. This gives them access to food that other animals can't reach, especially during dry seasons when resources are scarce.
We've developed many adaptations to help us survive in this environment. A structural adaptation is our tooth comb, 6 teeth on our lower jaw that help us groom ourselves and each other. Grooming strengthens our social bonds and helps us stay clean. A physiological adaptation is our ability to see in low light. We have a reflexive layer in our eyes called the tapetum lucidum, which lets us see better at dawn, dusk, and even at night. A key behavioral adaptation is how we use our tails. The black and white rings make us easy to spot, and when we move through dense forests, we hold our tails up like flags so our troop stays together.
Ringtailed lemurs have a unique reproductive cycle. Females usually start reproducing between the ages of 2.5 to 3 years old. They give birth once a year, usually to 1 or 2 infants, though sometimes they can have more. Females choose their mates, and during the short mating seasons, males compete by calling out or even fighting. Once the babies are born, they cling to their mothers' bellies and later her back for several months. Mothers provide food, warmth, and protection, and the young learn survival skills by watching adults in the group. This strong parental care increases their chances of surviving in the wild Madagascar.
Ringtail lemurs provide 2 major ecosystem services. First is seed dispersal. They eat fruits like tamarinds and figs, then spread the seeds through their droppings. This helps forests grow and recover after damage. The seeds are often dropped far from the parent tree, which reduces competition and improves forest health. Second, they help support biodiversity. By spreading seeds, they help maintain a variety of plant species. That creates food and shelter for birds, insects, and other animals. And when biodiversity is high, ecosystems are strong and more resilient, even to climate change. This also benefits humans, who rely on forests for oxygen, water filtration, medicine, and even tourism.
But lemurs are facing serious threats, and humans are behind most of them. One of the biggest is deforestation. Forests are cleared for farming, firewood, and livestock, destroying the lemur's habitat. That falls under habitat loss, the H in HIPCO. Another threat is overexploitation. People hunt lemurs for bushmeat or sell them illegally as pets. Even though it's against the law, it still happens. And then there's climate change. Rising temperatures and unpredictable rainfall affect the plants lemurs rely on for food. Droughts are longer and more intense, making it harder to find water and survive. All of these, habitat destruction, overhunting, and climate change, are part of HIPCO and are pushing ring-tailed lemurs closer to extinction. Luckily, there are efforts to help. Organizations like the Lemur Conservation Network and World Wildlife Fund work with communities in Madagascar to protect lemurs and their habitats. They focus on in-site conservation, which means protecting animals in their wild rather than in zoos. They've created protected areas, supported reforestation projects, and educated local people on how to help to conserve lemurs. These programs are helping, but the damage already done is serious, and recovery takes time.
There are also natural limits that affect lemur populations. One is food competition, a density-dependent factor. In dry seasons, food becomes limited, and lemurs compete with each other and other species for what is little available. This can lead to malnutrition and higher death rates. A density-independent factor is climate change. Droughts and extreme storms affect all lemurs no matter how many there are. If plants don't grow or if storms destroy habitats, the lemurs suffer, regardless of what the population size is. What makes it even harder is the lemur's slow reproduction. Females are only fertile for about 1 day a year, and they have only a few babies. It takes years for populations to recover, even under perfect conditions.
And unfortunately, the evidence shows that populations are not recovering. According to a 2016 study by Lafleur and colleagues, only about 2,220 wild ringtail lemurs were found across 32 sites in Madagascar. Even more alarming, local extinctions has already occurred in 12 of those sites. That's a population drop of over 95% since the year 2000. If these trends continue and conservation efforts don't improve, ringtail lemurs could go extinct in the wild, and possibly within our lifetime.
If that happens, Madagascar's forests will change forever. Without us, seeds won't spread the same way and some trees may disappear. Predators like the fossa may struggle to find food. Insects might overpopulate and damage plants. And the soil itself would weaken without our movement and droppings to keep it healthy. Even humans would feel the effects through the loss of forest resources, clean water, and even tourism. Saving lemurs means saving the balance of life here. We're not just animals with striped tails. We're part of something bigger, and we hope you'll help protect it.